Following on from the Noble Lord Scriven, I want to specifically ask about the surprise in the statement in terms of the need for vaccination passports in nightclubs and other venues with large crowds gathering. It was a surprise because last year the Prime Minister called vaccine passports unnecessary and intrusive. More recently, the Vaccines Minister called them discriminatory. And Matt Hancock, when in office, declared that they were a step too far and said we are not a papers-carrying country. But it does seem as though we are, because this is about making young people engagement in public life contingent on papers. Just would the Noble Minister comment on whether this rowing back on previous statements just is going to fuel cynicism amongst the young and it kind of fuels a conspiratorial thinking that you said you wouldn't do it and now you've done it? Some Conservatives tell me that I'm not to worry, that it won't happen. It's just a plan to threaten the young into compliance. Can the Minister clarify? If nightclubs, football grounds, pubs and so on require vaccine passports, does that mean that bar staff, cleaners, bouncers, groundsmen, etc. will need proof of vaccination to keep their jobs? I'm just worried about another group of workers having vaccines mandated, this time the hospitality industry. And finally, does the, quote, other venues where large crowds gather include political conferences? I'm asking for a friend or two.
Apology. My Lords, I make no apology for changing my mind in the pandemic. I will admit readily to the House, I have changed my mind and rowed back on all sorts of things I thought I was certain about during this pandemic. It's been a learning experience, to put it politely, for all of us. And we have all had to adjust our thinking on lots of matters as the evidence and the impact of the virus has affected us greatly. So, no, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, as the Noble Baroness specifically asked me. I do think that we all have to be responsible for the fact that our health touches upon those who we sit next to and who we share air with. And this is a public health truism that is self-evident and become highly apparent. There is no other way out of this pandemic other than through the vaccine. There is no other silver bullet. And therefore, we all have a personal responsibility to ensure that we are as safe as possible when we share space with other people. That is the principle in which we go into this. That is the principle which we are applying when it comes to domestic certification. The guidelines and precise details haven't been hammered out yet, but we will do it in a way that it seeks to be as inclusive as possible and is considerate to many of the concerns of the Noble Baroness quite rightly articulated.